Good afternoon. You're watching the midday news on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Ashwarya with you. Let us start the news with the top headlines. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu urges Supreme Court benches to take judiciary closer to people. Addresses gathering at release of book chronicling his 2 years in office as Vice President. Says abrogation of Article 370 need of the hour. Home Minister Amit Shah releases book on Vice President Venkaiah Naidu titled Listening, Learning and Leading. The book chronicles Vice President's public and diplomatic engagements. Venkaiah Naidu's life is a lesson for young generation, says Amit Shah. We'll leave no stone unturned to make India the best investment destination, assures Prime Minister Narendra Modi in an interview to an English daily. Says his government working towards long-term growth. 169 dead in flood and rain-related incidents in South and West India. Rescue and relief operations in full swing. Home Minister conducts aerial survey of flood-affected areas of Karnataka and Maharashtra. With flood-related losses in Karnataka at 10,000 crore rupees, Chief Minister Yediyurappa urges centre to release 3,000 crore rupees as immediate aid. And Eid al-Zuha being celebrated with the religious fervour and gaiety across the country. President Kovind, Vice President Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Modi greet people on the occasion. Home Minister Amit Shah on Sunday released a book titled Listening, Learning and Leading, chronicling the 2 years in office by Vice President Venkaiah Naidu in Chennai. Since assuming the office of Vice President of our country and the Chairman of Rajya Sabha on 11th of August 2017, Venkaiah Naidu has embarked on a mission of extensive engagement with stakeholders in major sectors that took him to all the states and union territories during the last 2 years. Home Minister Amit Shah noted that Vice President Naidu's life from student days to the post of Vice President was a good lesson for everyone to learn. Recalling his stints as Union Minister, Home Minister Amit Shah said that Vice President Naidu was instrumental in implementing various welfare measures.
Learning and leading ये टाइटल एक पुस्तक का टाइटल नहीं है जो वेंकैया जी के 2 साल के उपराष्ट्रपति के कार्यकाल का डॉक्यूमेंटेशन है। लिसनिंग, लर्निंग एंड लीडिंग ये टाइटल श्री वेंकैया नायडू के जीवन का एक व्याख्या करता हुआ टाइटल है कि जीवन में सुनना, सीखना और समाज का नेतृत्व करना ये कैसे कर सकते हैं, इसका एक आदर्श श्री वेंकैया नायडू ने इस देश की युवा पीढ़ी के सामने रखा है.
And at the event, Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar hailed Chairman Naidu's acumen for enhancing the effectiveness and efficiency of Rajya Sabha.
Today is a wonderful book published by Publication Division of Information and Broadcasting Ministry, Listening, Learning, Leading. I am very sure that the title must have been given by Vice President himself. Listening, Learning, Leading, it's not a photobiography. It is the collection of his engagement with various sectors in last 2 years as Vice President, foreign as well as national, as well as in the House. So all aspects of his activities are covered. And I must compliment my team in Publication Division also. They have brought out a very good book which we will cherish.
The 257-page chronicle with the 232 photo illustrations gives an account of the 330 major public engagements of Vice President Naidu. Of the 7 chapters of the publication, the one on Rajya Sabha refers to the turnaround during the just concluded 249th session and the efforts made during the last 2 years for the effective functioning of the House and improving the efficiency of the Secretariat as well.
Listening, Learning and Leading. The book chronicles the journey of Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu in office for last 2 years. From 330 major public engagements as Vice President of India to presiding over 123 sittings of the Rajya Sabha as Chairman of the Upper House. It also highlights his role as an important catalyst in the process of transforming India. Reporting from Chennai with camera person Saroj, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu on Sunday gave a clarion call to ponder over the current situation of the three state organs in our country, the legislature, the executive and the judiciary. He highlighted the need to further strengthen these pillars to ensure that the fruits of democratic governance reach everyone. He also hoped that all political parties will adopt a code of conduct for their legislators and contribute to policy making through informed decisions.
At the launch of his book, A Chronicle of 2 Years in Office, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said that legislators must be well-informed, well-intentioned and capable of articulating a viewpoint instead of being eager to rush to the well of the House. He said that legislators must realize the dreams of constitution makers through enlightened debates and forward-looking legislations.
I think it's high time that more benches are created to reduce the huge dependency and expense. Third one is that it is heartening that the government have enhanced the number of judges in the Supreme Court by 10%, but I'm afraid it will still be inadequate. A number of civil and criminal cases have been pending over 25 years.
Vice President also said that the procedure for appointment of judges may be revisited and a credible, transparent process must be instituted.
So I have been urging parliamentarians to refrain from such dysfunctional behavior. I have constantly reminded them of their duty and a unique opportunity to shape public discourse. I hope that all political parties will adopt a code of conduct for their legislators and contribute to policy making through informed discussions. Make their MPs, MLAs, public representatives behave in an ideal manner. This is my recommendation to the people and political parties across the country.
Vice President noted that media should be a dispassionate watchdog, a honest messenger, a friendly advisor and a wholesome entertainer. He stressed that media should be the catalyst of positive change and be the voice of the voiceless.
A free and vibrant media keeps democracy alive and can enrich the quality of life of people through information, education, entertainment and insightful analysis. The technological advancement in recent years have brought unprecedented change in the media landscape. Social media, along with traditional press and TV, are having a profound influence on our lives and lifestyles, on our work and relationship. Like everything else in life, this transformation has the good, bad and the ugly. You are seeing what is happening in the electronic media in some instances, what is happening in print media in some instances, what is happening in the social media also. Information is very important in this advancement of the civilization and development. Information with confirmation is more than an ammunition.
Vice President observed that making laws was only a part of the story and implementing them was a more crucial aspect of governance. He said that designing programs, funding them, monitoring their implementation and evaluating their outcomes is the crux of good governance.
In his speech, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu made an important observation, saying that there should be no gap between policy intent and policy implementation, and that benefits of any program or scheme must reach people within time to ensure rapid growth and development of India. Reporting from Chennai, with camera person Saroj, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also said on Sunday that the abrogation of Article 370 was the need of the hour and was in the interest of the nation for safety and security. Home Minister Amit Shah asserted that the removal of special status to Jammu and Kashmir will lead to end of terrorism and lead to progress of the region.
At the launch of his book, A Chronicle of his 2 years in office, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said that scrapping of special status under Article 370 to Jammu and Kashmir should be seen from the national perspective and people of the country must stand with their counterparts in Jammu and Kashmir.
370 abrogation is in the interest of the nation, for its future, for its security, for its safety. I can say, as the Vice President, with considerable experience in public life, is not big, now that the Parliament has voted it also, we should all think in terms of national interest rather than party interest. National interest. 370 should not be treated as a political issue. It should be treated as a national issue, that Kashmir is an integral part of India. Whatever problems are there, we should all stand by the people of Kashmir and assuage their feelings and see to it that steps are taken for restoring normalcy and for implementing developmental and welfare agenda at the earliest. I thought I should share some of these thoughts with you.
Home Minister Amit Shah said he firmly believed Article 370 should have been removed long ago.
मेरे मन में जरा भी कंफ्यूजन नहीं था कि धारा 370 हटानी चाहिए या नहीं हटानी चाहिए। मैं फर्मली मानता हूं कि धारा 370 से देश का भला नहीं हुआ, कश्मीर का भला नहीं हुआ, बहुत पहले हटनी चाहिए थी। एज अ होम मिनिस्टर मेरे मन में जरा भी कंफ्यूजन नहीं था कि धारा 370 के बाद क्या होगा। मैं निश्चित रूप से मानता हूं कि धारा 370 हटने के बाद कश्मीर के अंदर आतंकवाद की समाप्ति होगी और कश्मीर विकास के रास्ते पे आगे बढ़ जाएगा।
Actor politician Rajnikant also came out in support of the government's move to repeal Article 370.
You'll always think about people, poor people in this country, man.
The Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Bill 2019 and a resolution revoking Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir were passed by Parliament last week. President Ram Nath Kovind also signed off on the official gazette that enforced the changes from 6th of August.
Eminent personalities present on the occasion hailed the abrogation of Article 370 and asserted that democracy has been established in true sense and that terrorism will now make way for development. Reporting from Chennai, with camera person Saroj, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
And a photo exhibition was also organized in Chennai to showcase the 2 years of energetic and extensive engagement of Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu. So take a look at the myriad shades of his engagements.
The photo exhibition focuses on public engagements of Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, including visits to scientific and technological institutions, award presentations, and interaction with student groups and farmers.
This is very interesting. It's a chance for a human being to understand a giant person. And he was seems to be the backbone of the past days. What a tremendous person, I can say that. A person is able to do some work for the past 2 years and he is interested to show to the people. That's a great thing. And I'm able to see how slowly he has started and has come up in this level.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. These pictures have given an artistic statement and provided insight into Vice President's engagements and have transcended the limitations and boundaries of the linguistics of a written or spoken language.
The photo exhibition organized here in Chennai beautifully showcases the journey of Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu in office for the last 2 years with focus on his mission of women empowerment, progress of youth and farmers and also promotion of Indian culture. Reporting from Chennai, with camera person Saroj, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
And several Rajya Sabha MPs also attended the book launch event and praised the Vice President's administration. Let's take a listen.
Like our headmaster, a principal, so he gives us good advice. Most of the time we used to love his witty comments and also the quick responses with the greatest style of his, and we admired his administration as well as the way he conducts the house. It is tremendous. We all love him so much, and the 2 years was very productive.
More knowledgeable Vice President, and the House is benefited by his approach, the way he deals with things. Whenever we meet him in his chamber, he is very kind. He is one of our nice Vice President, nice chairman.
And many eminent personalities also attended the book launch ceremony in Chennai. And after the event, Dr. K. Kasturi Rangan, a former ISRO chairman, and Dr. Pratap C. Reddy, founder chairman of Apollo Hospitals, spoke to our correspondent Kriti Mishra. Let's take a listen.
It was a very, very fast moving 2 years. If you want to take the relativity theory into account, there was a time dilation principle in which the 2 years is really a compression of over 5 years of activity. Enormous, awesome in terms of the coverage that he has made of the country, the 330 visits that he has made to different locations of the country, in a sense is a sampling of this country with respect to diversity, plurality and things of that kind. And he gives a glimpse of the type of things he did at different locations, whether it is related to education, whether it is related to agriculture, whether it is related to culture and arts, and whether it is related to university systems and convocations, and whether it is related to dealing with the youth, and most importantly, how to make sure that the Rajya Sabha is also made effective, much more effective than it ever has been.
How do you look back at the 2 years of Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu in office?
I think his inner capabilities has not has enlightened more. From the time I know him for decades, he is a man who listens, who acts, who inspires people and gives them that saying, let's motivate to make you and your institution and the country a different one. I remember personally when he came and addressed our Proton, we have one of the world's best Proton center in Chennai. He inaugurated that. The speech he made was to say, I'm happy that this institution will keep my goals to see that India will be on the top of the world. And I think Vice President, we are seeing him inside and outside the house. He is a man of action. That is the greatness with him. I admire him.
On to some other news now. After Vice President's engagements in Chennai, let's get you news on Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who said on Sunday that he will leave no stone unturned in making India the best investment destination in the world. In his first interview to English News Daily after assuming office for a second term, the Prime Minister said that the vision of the NDA government for the next 5 years is to have investment-led growth, and it is targeting 100 lakh crore rupees worth of investment in the coming 5 years. He said that the government is working on policies to promote inflows from domestic as well as foreign sources to achieve this vision. The Prime Minister also said that the private sector must continue to believe in the India story, assuring that he will do his best to make India a better place to do business. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also said that the decision to scrap Article 370 has been taken after a great deal of thought, and the centre moved forward with it for the benefit of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. He further asserted that the decision is purely a domestic one. News from Jammu and Kashmir now, where the state government has made elaborate arrangements to help people celebrate the festival of Eid-ul-Adha in the state today. Now, banks, ATMs and markets opened yesterday in Kashmir, and restrictions were eased, allowing people to come out and shop. People also were allowed to visit neighborhood mosques to offer prayers during the Eid-ul-Adha today. Now, normalcy is fast returning in most parts of the Jammu region as well, where restrictions under Section 144 CRPC have been completely lifted in 5 districts. In the other 5 districts, restrictions have been relaxed to help in Eid celebrations today. And magistrates have been deployed at every critical place to act as facilitators for the convenience of the general public. Meanwhile, a Srinagar-based CRPF helpline on Sunday notified a new number for the people, especially Kashmiris who require help for their families or are in distress in Jammu and Kashmir. The helpline posted the new mobile number 9469793260 for any assistance or updates. Meanwhile, the Indian Railways announced the cancellation of Samjhauta Express days after Pakistan suspended services on its side.
सैटरडे को रेस्ट्रिक्शंस ईज आउट की गई थी, दुकानें खुली थी. संडे को रेस्ट्रिक्शंस फर्दर ईज आउट की गई थी और कल तो बहुत जगह हमें ट्रैफिक सड़कों पे देखने को मिला. आज जो है सब जगह ईद प्रेयर्स फैसिलिटेट की गई और सक्सेसफुली कंक्लूड हो गई हैं और मैं लोगों को भी मुबारकबाद देता हूं उनकी कोऑपरेशन और उनकी मैच्योरिटी के लिए. हमारी पॉलिसी जो है, हमारी पॉलिसी है ग्रेटर रिलैक्सेशन, ग्रेटर ईजिंग आउट, ताकि लोग बाहर निकलें, एक दूसरे से मिलें. लेकिन एट द सेम टाइम वी आर कीपिंग अ वॉच ऑन द सिचुएशन. अगर कहीं कोई मिस्चीवियस एलिमेंट्स होंगे जो अमन को डिस्टर्ब करना चाहेंगे या जो अमन पसंद लोगों के लिए मुश्किलात पेश करना चाहेंगे, उनके साथ सख्ती से निपटा जाएगा. लेकिन जो पीस लविंग पीपल हैं, सिटीजन्स हैं, उनको हर तरीके से फैसिलिटेट किया जाएगा.
And let's get you the monsoon update. Relief and rescue operations have intensified in flood-affected areas of Maharashtra, Kerala, Gujarat and Karnataka, even as 169 people have lost their lives in flood and rain-related incidents in South and West India. Now, the Ballari district administration in Karnataka has asked people living along the river banks to move to safer places in all parts of the state, as all the 33 gates of the Tungbhadra Dam were opened in the wake of incessant rains. And Karnataka Chief Minister P.S. Yediyurappa said that the preliminary estimate of flood-related losses in the state was 10,000 crore rupees, and he urged the centre to release 3,000 crore rupees as immediate aid. Meanwhile, Union Home Minister Amit Shah also undertook an aerial survey of the flood-affected areas of Karnataka as well as Maharashtra.
Flood situation in Karnataka and is completely satisfied. First we requested about 10,000 crores loss approximately, that may reach even 20-25,000 crores. Now we are requested for 3,000 crores immediate help for the Karnataka, and they are given the representation also.
Meanwhile, in Maharashtra, around 35 people were killed in rain-related incidents in 5 districts of western Maharashtra in a week, including 17 who drowned after a boat capsized near Brahmanal village in Sangli on Thursday. 4 lakh people have so far been moved to safety from flood-affected areas of Maharashtra. Meanwhile, 761 villages in 69 tehsils are affected by the deluge. And talking about Kerala now, over 2.51 lakh people have taken shelter in relief camp in the state here. The toll in the flood fury has gone up to 72, while 58 people are still missing. The IMD has issued a red alert for Kannur, Kasargod and Wayanad districts in view of heavy rain forecast. The Army, the Navy, Coast Guard, NDRF, police forces as well as volunteers and fishermen are involved in rescue operations in various places of the state. International wrestler Babita Phogat and her father Mahavir Phogat, who is a wrestling coach, joined the BJP today. Both joined the BJP in the presence of Sports and Youth Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju, party's General Secretary in charge of Haryana, Anil Jain, and its State Chief, Subhash Badla. Lauding the father-daughter duo, Rijiju said that Babita Phogat has brought laurels to our country by bagging medals at several international events. The BJP believes that the induction of Phogats into the party will help it politically in the poll-bound Haryana. Remember, assembly elections are due in the state later this year. And the country is celebrating the 100th birth anniversary of scientist Dr. Vikram A. Sarabhai today. Considered the father of the Indian space program, Vikram Sarabhai was an award-winning physicist, industrialist and innovator who established Indian Space Research Organization or ISRO. Dr. Sarabhai's centenary comes just 2 weeks after India's Chandrayaan-2 mission to the moon. The lander of Chandrayaan-2 is also named Vikram as part of the centenary celebrations of Vikram Sarabhai. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today remembered eminent scientist and father of Indian space program, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, on its 100th birth anniversary today. In a Twitter message, he said that Vikram Sarabhai pioneered India's scientific quest for improving the lives of people. The Vice President added that Sarabhai founded the ISRO and several important scientific institutions in India, and that the nation will always remember his contributions to the advancement of science. And the festival of sacrifice, Eid-ul-Azha, is being celebrated with religious fervor and gaiety across the country today. The faithful are offering Eid prayers in Eidgahs and mosques in Delhi. May Eid congregations are being held at Jama Masjid, Fatehpuri Mosque and Shahi Eidgah. President Ramnath Kovind greeted the people on the occasion. In his message, he said that Eid symbolizes love, fraternity and service to humanity. Vice President Naidu said that the festival is an ode to the virtues of devotion, faith and sacrifice and inspires the feelings of brotherhood, compassion and unity. Vice President Naidu hoped that the festival will strengthen the spirit of generosity and bring people closer to one another. And Prime Minister Modi also greeted the people on the occasion. In a tweet, Prime Minister Modi expressed hope that the festival will further the spirit of peace and happiness in our society. And that is the wrap on this edition of Midday News. Thanks for watching.